Let me say this before we go through the scorecard. I 100% believe that we had that game last night. 100% believe we had the game. You can call me delusional, but I believed that we had that game. You see, in the game of cricket, decisions that are made in the dressing room, they are almost as important as the ones that are made on the field by the captain. Yes, small margins, my people, small margins. In the second game, we made a similar bad decision. Luckily, Jason Holler was there to bail us out in the last over. Unfortunately, we didn't find anyone to bail us out last night after that bad decision was made. We will talk about that decision further down, but let's take a look at the scorecard and then we can discuss that. By the way, blessings everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. All right, my people. So last night, West Indies lost the third and final T20 against Pakistan by 13 runs. Therefore, losing the series 2-1. Yes, my people. We lost the series 2-1. I would say that, the game was really and truly set up for an exciting finish in our favor. But unfortunately, it didn't work that way, right? So Pakistan batted first. They scored 189 for 4. Put together a nice century opening partnership. You understand? What I will say is that 189 for 4, it's more than we wanted them to get. But at the end of the day, based on the start that they got, our bowlers, they didn't get hit for a lot of boundaries, 6 and 4s and all of that. So I am still saying that based on how that based on how the pitch played, I think that we should have chased that down. I think we should have chased that down because the work that Alec and Joel Andrew did at the top there really set us up well. Alec Arthur has batted for a good period, so most of the spinners, he dealt with them. Played some good sweep shots, some reverse sweep and things like that, right? So 189 for 4 is what Pakistan made. Let's just take a look at it real quick here. So batting for Pakistan, Ayub, he got 66 from 49. Farhan, he scored 74 from 53. Yes, my people. So those two guys put together a nice partnership. 138 before we actually took the first wicket, right? And they ended up with 189 for 4. So those were the two main contributors there for them. Hassan Nawaz got 15 from 7. Now, let's take a look at our bowling. Akil Hussain, he bowled 4 overs for 32. Jason Holder, 4 overs, 1 for 34. Raston Chase, 1 for 31 from his 4 overs. Shamar Joseph, 1 for 57 from 4. Goody Kishmoti, he bowled 2 overs for 14 runs. Romara Shepherd, he bowled 2 overs for 20 runs. So, as I said, my people, it was a night where the batsmen, they had more pleasure, right? They ended up loving the surface, right? The first couple of games, didn't go that way for the batting department, right? For talking about both teams. But I tell my viewers and subscribers, there are a whole lot of things that we need to fix when it comes on to this T20 team here, right? But that's how the bowling went. Now, when it was time for us to, let's just take a look at the extras, by the way. We gave away 11 extras, right? 10 wides and 1 leg by. Now, when it was time for us to bat, Joel Andrew and Alec Arthanes, they did what we have been asking for, right? We always said that we need to get off to a good start in the power play. The guys went out there and they did that. They did exactly that, right? 44 for 1 when we lost Joel Andrew. Joel Andrew, he scored 24 from 15 with 3 fours. Played some nice looking shots before he was removed. Alec Arthanes, he scored 60 from 40, right? 8 fours and 1 6. Strike rate of 150. He played with intent. He took some risk, but, they paid off. They paid off. He played some good shots, swept well, and, he ran well between the wicket. That is something that I also need to commend him on. He ran well between the wickets with Sheffield Rutherford. Rutherford played a brilliant innings, my people. Remember, you know, he hasn't been having a very good time, not only this series, but even in the Australia series. But guess what? He came in tonight, last night, and, you know, he was trying. He tried, my people. He tried. But, you know, as I said, when Rutherford was there, he and Alec Arthanes, they did all they could, my viewers and subscribers. You know, but Shea Hope, he scored 7 from 9. You know, looking to take on the spinner, didn't get to the pitch of the ball and hit the ball in the ear, got himself out. Now, this is the decision that I was talking about. And it you know, it looked so because they ended up having to retire Raston Chase. Personally, I don't believe it was the right decision to send him out at that time. I don't believe it, right? Not saying that if he didn't go out, we would have won. But even while I was watching the game, from the moment he started walking out, I was like, you know, Rutherford is there. Why not send out? We have Jason Holder, who is in form. Goody Kishmoti has done some work recently. And, you know, Romario Shepherd. You know, I could understand that they're probably thinking right and left hand combination if they send Chase instead of Moti. And they were probably thinking that, well, if Rutherford don't get the boundaries, Chase will probably try to rotate the strike. But I cannot find any excuse, my people. It was just a decision that I did not agree with. And it just showed up. They had to retire him out. You understand? So I don't really understand how, as a coaching group, you know, the head coach, batting coach, I don't understand as a group, you're really, if you are tuned into the game like that, you would send Raston out there. Not saying that he's not capable of striking the ball, but personally, I believe that that's where we really and truly drop the ball. You know, not going to put the blame solely on Raston or the guys that made that decision, because, you know, other things, we have to factor in that, you know, other things happened during the game that contribute to us losing the game. But I think that we were on a nice little momentum going, and I didn't see the reason for him coming out at that time. That is just my opinion. You know, I didn't consult with anyone to see if they are feeling the same way. That is my opinion. That's how I feel about the situation. So I am putting it out there. I think it was the wrong decision. And the fact that they had to retire him out shortly after, you know, I think they figured out that it was the wrong decision also. You understand? You know, so he ended getting 15 from 12. Jason Holder, he didn't fire. Right, he was removed without scoring. Romario Shepherd was left not out on 4, having faced 3. Goody Kishmoti was left not out on 10, having faced 4. So, as I said, my people, this is not me looking at it after the game and saying this is what should have happened. From the moment he started walking out, I was saying that, you know, it wasn't the right decision. It was not the right decision. And for those who have been watching this platform, you know, I don't just like get up and throw people under the bus and things like that. But I think, personally, I believe that we had that game up until that point. Obviously, I can't see in the future. I can't know what would have happened if whatever did happen. But I believe that we had that game up until that point, up until that decision was made. And that is why at the beginning of the video, I said that the decisions that are made in the dugout, dressing room, back room, whatever you want to call it, the decisions that are made there when we are waiting to bat, those decisions are almost as important as what the captain will do when he's out there marshalling the troops. The second game we made, we made almost basically the same error, right? Didn't learn from it. This game, I am probably reading into it wrong. So that is why I put it out with my opinion there. And I will be in the comment section listening to your what you guys have to say about that. But I totally believe, I 100% believe. Usually I just come and do the recap and just bounce. But I 100% believe that's where we dropped the ball last night. I think we had the game up until that point. You understand? I think we had the game up until that point. Because, boy, I tell you. Anyway, for Pakistan, Hassan Ali 1 for 38 from his 3. Nawaz picked up 1 for 33 from 3. Harris Rauf 1 for 34 from 4. Ayub and Mukim, they picked up 1 each. So that is basically how it went, my viewers and subscribers. Pakistan walking away with victory. So we had the player of the series, Mohammad Nawaz, for his wickets, and player of last night's match, Farhan, for his 74 there in the game. So that is my take on it, my people. Later on, we'll come back on and do some more talking. Big up.